My name is Jerry Finkelstein. I was a volunteer in Peru, in Puno, right on Lake Titicaca, and it's a pretty big city, way up, 12,650 feet above sea level.
How many years?
I entered training in 1964. We got to Peru early 1965, and I was there through the end of 1966. Probably the most eventful thing was not a very pleasant one. There was a strike at the university where I was teaching, and I went with the teachers. And we got about a quarter mile before we were to have an encounter, and they started handing out chunks of rubber hose about a foot long, and guys pulled chains out of their pocket. We had a little exchange of words, and then they started to throw rocks and Molotov cocktails at us, which lasted for a few minutes. It was not very pleasant. It was one of the few times in my life that I have feared for my life. And then it stopped, and they did it again for a little while, and then everything got resolved. That was not the best part of my time, but it was certainly the single thing that I remember. I also remember meeting a whole bunch of wonderful people, and I had a great time playing basketball in the league and just having friends, Peruvians and my fellow volunteers.
Hi, I'm Judith Madden Sturgis. I was known as Judy Madden in the Peace Corps in Peru in 1964 and 65. I worked in Urcos briefly and then the city of Cusco. Probably the most memorable thing, besides the beautiful hikes in the surrounding country, was working in the prison where the men who had committed crimes of stealing food and all these other terrible things, not murder or anything like that we hear of here, they were working on looms. That was a way for them to get income for their families.
Okay.
I actually went to Cusco on my honeymoon with my husband and went to the house where I lived and talked to the senora, and she remembered me. She thought I was a little bit fatter than I had been when I was there. But we had that reunion, and some of the people who had also lived in the same complex were still there. So it was a wonderful reunion.
How many years was it after you'd been there?
Oh, gee. I'm not even sure. I think I got married in 77 and I left there in 65. So it was 11 years. So it had been quite a while, but the people, still remembered me in spite of that distance and time. I'd love to bring my family back now, but I'm sure at this point many of those people are gone, and maybe someday we'll go anyway.